Good morning, students. Myself, K. Lakshmi, Assistant Professor in SNH Department, Chevron Engineering College. Title, Polarization. And today's topic we discuss is Nicol prism. In the last session, we discussed about what is double refraction, birefringence, double refraction or birefringence. That means when unpolarized light passes through the anisotropic crystals, it splits up into two refracted rays. It is split up into two refracted rays. So here, what is anisotropic means? The properties of crystals are changed according to direction. That is the meaning of anisotropic crystals. And this double refraction phenomena is only existed in anisotropic crystals like quartz, calcite. So what is the meaning of double refraction? When an unpolarized light is incident on it, here A, B, C, D is called principal section, plane of a principal section. That means the plane which consisting of optic axis. Now an unpolarized light is incident on the plane of a principal section. It splits into two refracted rays. One is E ray, another one is O ray. Here, E ray is called extraordinary ray, O ray is called ordinary ray. So the rays which do not obey laws of refraction and the particle vibration is along the principal section, those polarized light is nothing but extraordinary polarized light. Generally, this polarized light is in a elliptical form, so like that, in a elliptical shape. Whereas ordinary light is which obey the law of refraction and the particle vibration is perpendicular to the principal section, and it is also one of the polarized light which is in a circular shape. So these topics we discussed in the last class. Now here we're discussing about the today's session, Nicol prism. So what is a Nicol prism? It is a prism which is used for producing and analyzing the plane polarized light. So Nicol is the first scientist which construct this prism. So it is named as a Nicol prism. So the device is used for the purpose for producing and analyzing the plane polarized light. Generally, Nicol prism is works on the principle of, or it is used, or it works on the principle of total internal reflection. Here, very important role played by Canada Blossom. So, what is a Canada Blossom? I will explain that. First of all, we discuss about the construction of a Nicol prism. Here, this is the figure. Actually, A, B, C, and D are the principal section plane. So this is an optic axis. Now, actually, we discussed this principal section in diffraction case, in double refraction case. Then what is the difference between double refraction and Nicol prism? So this construction is here at the ends of the principal section, at the ends of the crystal is grounded. That means sharp or polished up to the end faces of the crystal or angles become 68 degrees and 112 instead of 71 degrees and 109 degrees. That means actually here the angles of the principal section are originally 71 degrees and 109 degrees angle, but now we are grounded. Now we are grounded or polished to become these angles as 68 degrees and 112 degrees. Okay. So here the construction of Nicol prism is very important. That's why it is different from double refraction calcite crystal. The first point is here the end faces of plane are grounded. That's why its angles are converted from 71 degrees and 109 degrees to 68 degrees and 112 degrees. So here the changed angles are be indicated by here the dark lines. Dotted lines is the original angle. So the first step is the end faces of the prism are grounded to reduce the angle at A and at C. So here the dotted lines is initial shape of the plane. After grounded, the final plane is like DC1 direction. And here it is BA1 direction. That means due to polishing, the angles are changed from 71 degrees and 109 degrees as 68 degrees and 112 degrees. So this is the main step and the first step in construction of Nicol prism. Okay. And the second step is the crystal is cut into two pieces. So crystal is cut into two pieces. And this cutting is along perpendicular to the principal section. That means we cut the plane into two pieces. So here you observe that this is the cutting position. Okay. It is exactly perpendicular to the principal section as well as end faces also. Okay. So when you observe that here, so this is the cutting position. So it makes 90 degrees angle with end faces. So here also it makes 90 degrees angle with end faces. So the second step is we simply cut the plane of a principal section that is along perpendicular to the principal section, two pieces, and it makes an angle 90 degrees with the end faces. So here this is the cutting position. We simply cut the crystal here and it makes a 90 degrees angle with the side DC1 and make an angle 90 degrees with the side A1B. That is the second step. And the third step is now the two cut surfaces are grounded. and polished, optically flat, and then cemented together by Canada blossom. I will explain with the figure, okay? Okay. For example, this is the plane of principal section. Now we cut into two pieces like that. Then it becomes like that. Okay. It becomes like that. Now, these two cut surfaces are polished. These two cut surfaces are polished. That means like that. Here these two faces are polished. And again, these two surfaces are joined with a or cemented with a material which is called Canada blossom. So by joining here with a Canada blossom, this is the Canada blossom. Okay. This material is called Canada blossom. Now, what is the new look material? New look crystal is like that. So here, the new look Nicol prism is like that. Here, there is a material which is called Canada blossom material. This is the new look prism. Okay. Here, very important point is why we use Canada blossom here. Why we used Canada blossom here, and what are the characteristics of Canada blossom here? So, Canada blossom, whose refractive index lies between ordinary and extraordinary rays for calcite. That means, what is refractive index? It is a property of the material. Actually, when you observe this figure, this is the incident ray, which is an unpolarized light. This is an incident ray, which is an unpolarized light. So this is a crystal, which is an anisotropic crystal. So automatically, the incident unpolarized light is split into two parts. Already we discussed it, double refraction. One of the light ray is E ray, another light ray is O ray. But the main difference between in Nicol prism is here the construction is quite different as compared with the double refraction calcite crystal. It means general calcite crystal is different from Nicol prism. So we have to do here, the construction is quite different. So we have to use Canada blossom here. Okay. So this Canada blossom is act as a rarer medium for O ray and a denser medium for E ray. Okay. So that's why actually this line also travel in the same this direction. But why here the ordinary ray deviate like this direction? Because here this line is called Canada blossom. This line is called Canada blossom. Okay. So here the Canada blossom is act as a rarer medium for O ray direction. That's why it cannot pass through inside the Nicol prism. It just deviates here. That means here at this plane, it undergoes total internal refraction. Total internal reflection. Why? Because here the Canada blossom material is act as a rarer medium for this ordinary ray. It cannot pass through it. Whereas Whereas for E-ray, it is act as a denser medium. So that's why here the E-ray travels through this medium also. So here the very important point is Canada blossom is act as a refractive indices, which is a line between O-ray and E-ray. When you observe the refractive index values of Canada blossom, compare with O-ray and E-ray here. So these are the refractive index of the O-ray. This value is equivalent to 1.6584, and refractive index of extraordinary ray is 1.4864, whereas refractive index of the Canada blossom is 1.55. That means it is act as its refractive index is between E-ray and O-ray. That means here, whenever you compare the refractive index of these three, so this is the refractive index of O-ray, and this is the refractive index of Canada blossom, and this is the refractive index of E-ray. Okay. So for E-ray, Canada blossom is act as a denser medium, and E-ray is act as a rarer medium. So that's why here this light is traveling through Canada blossom. But whereas O-ray is act as a denser medium, Canada blossom is act as a rarer medium as compared with these two. So it cannot pass through here. Just reflect back. Just reflected back. So I'm giving some example. Actually, for example, here we have to take a vessel consisting of water, like that, water. When light rays are traveling from air to water medium easily. Okay. Here air is act as a rarer medium. Air is act as a rarer medium, and water is act as a denser medium. If in case, when we start the torchlight here, that means into the water, the light cannot move or cannot travel from water to air easily. Water to air easily. Cannot travel from water to air easily, because light cannot travel from denser to rarer easily. That is the main reason. That is the main reason. I think what I am saying, all of you understand that. Light easily travel from rarer to denser, but it cannot travel from denser to rarer. Denser to rarer. So this is the main reason. This is the main reason as light instead on the plane of a principal section, it splits into two parts. One is E-ray, another is O-ray. But here there is a material which is called Canada blossom. So here the Canada blossom is act as a rarer medium for O-ray. So as we discuss in, it cannot pass through the rarer medium. So automatically this O-ray is completely, totally internal reflection process is going. But here the E-ray is easily transferred through this Canada blossom, because here the Canada blossom is act as a denser medium for this E-ray. Okay. So that here, what is the working whatever we discussing here, the working process is when an unpolarized sodium light enters into the Nicol prism, it splits into two rays, O ray and E ray. Here the Canada blossom is act as a rarer medium for O ray and denser medium for E ray. So that is the main purpose here we use Canada blossom. That means Canada blossom acts as a rarer medium and also denser medium. Okay. Now, due to Canada blossom is act as a rarer medium for O ray, the complete O rays are reflected from at the Canada blossom interface. And E ray is automatically traveling from Canada blossom and they are emerged out from the Canada blossom. That means what is the difference between we discuss in double refraction and in a Nicol prism? This is the phenomenon of double refraction. In double refraction, both E ray and O ray are captured at one side of the plane because here we cannot use any material there. Whereas in Nicol prism, you observe that here there is a Canada blossom material is there. So that's why here the E ray and O ray are separately captured here. O ray is deviated in this direction and E ray is traveling this direction. So that is the main difference between whatever calcite crystal used in double refraction and to the Nicol prism. That means the construction is very important in this Nicol prism. That means we separately collect the E ray and O ray here. But whereas in double refraction, it is not going on. This is because of only due to Canada blossom. And next, the final one is uses. What is the use of this Nicol prism? Nicol prism is used as a polarizer as well as analyzer. When you observe this figure, here it is also one, we have to take two Nicol prisms, Nicol prism A and Nicol prism B. Actually, we call it as a Nicol prism P. Why? Because it is a polarizer. And Nicol prism A, it is analyzer. Here, when you observe this figure, an unpolarized light is incident on it. So E ray travel like this same direction and O ray is reflected like this direction. Why? Because here there is a material which is called Canada blossom. Canada blossom. Okay. Right. Again here, there is another Nicol prism. When you observe here, there is no O ray in this direction because already with the use of this Nicol prism, an unpolarized light is converted into polarized light. Already only one direction is there. So there is no deviation here. Again, this polarized light is traveling in the same direction. That means it analyzes that whether it is polarized or not. If in case Nicol prism P and Nicol prism A are arranged in a perpendicular manner, then after A, we cannot observe any light here because the direction of the E ray is quite different the direction of the crystal. So it cannot pass through it. That means here the direction of the light is only in single direction. That means This Nicol prism is analyzed. If it is in a parallel position, the light is outcoming. If it is in perpendicular position, the light is not coming. That means this crystal analyzes whether the light is converted into polarized light or not. Okay. So here PPL means plane polarized light. So Nicol prism is used as a polarizer as well as analyzer. Okay. So that is the main purpose or main usage of Nicol prism. So the main point here, today's topic is construction of Nicol prism. The first step is first polish the ends of the prism up to the angles changed from 71 degrees and 109 degrees as 68 degrees to 112 degrees. And then second step is the crystal is cut into two pieces. So here this is the two pieces, which is perpendicular to the plane of principal section. And it makes an equal angle with the end faces. Here that is perpendicular 90 degrees is there, and here 90 degrees is there. Okay. And the third step is whatever we cut the pieces are again grounded and polished. Now they are joined together with a material which is called Canada blossom. Here, this is the very important point. Why? Because the refractive index of Canada blossom is lying between refractive index of ordinary ray and extraordinary ray. Here we use sodium light as an unpolarized light. Actually, best example for unpolarized light is all ordinary lights. That means sodium light, sunlight, candle light, tube light. These are all examples for the ordinary lights. That means all ordinary lights are example for unpolarized light. Whatever we discuss in this polarization is entirely, there are only two types of light there. One in unpolarized light, another one is polarized light. So unpolarized light means light having different direction. So different direction like that. Okay. Whereas polarized light means light having only one direction. Here, whatever these vertical columns are indicate the electric vector directions, electric vectors directions, electric vector vibrations also. Okay. So this is the today's session. So today's session we completely discuss about the what is a Nicol prism and Nicol prism construction and working. What is the working of Nicol prism and how it is used as a analyzer as well as a polarizer. In the next session, we discuss about the types of crystals, positive and negative crystals, and quarter wave plate and a half wave plate. That will be discussed in the next session. Okay. Thank you to all.